general statement, and we believe this should be applicable to video games as well. And also, as if I request that, arousing content elicits arousal in media users, and arousal in media users lead to increase in mental energy or cognitive resources for processing information. So, based on the theory, as if we designed and created a simple video game to test our hypothesis. Using a commercial video game was not easy to test our hypothesis. All the factors we believe cannot be manipulated in one single commercial game. As I mentioned earlier, we designed an experiment and created a simple video game accordingly. As noted in the screen, a factorial design of balance by target speed by background music tempo was used. So this game had a total of 12 sessions according to the factorial design. And from now on, let me show you the sum of sessions of the custom-built video game for this experiment. A number of corporate logos appeared during each session in random order. Of course, different session had its own group of logos, so there was no worries of connecting which logo came from which session. Each session was played for 60 seconds. After the participant played all 12 games, this tracker task followed by memory test was administered. As shown here, valence of video game content was successfully manipulated. From now, I will show you the result. As predicted, hypothesis 1, post content, which led to the player's archetype system activation, built better recognition memory than negative content, which activated the player's aversive system. This is interesting because when people think that negative content, such as killing or destroying, leads to better memory in general. It was not the case in this study. Past research using different media like TV or radio showed similar results as predicted by the SGC2014 theory. Also significant was the main effect of target speed on recognition memory. Recognition memory was most correct when target speed was fastest, followed by medium, and worst when target speed was slowest, as predicted in hypothesis 2. But does this mean that background music has no effect of cognitive psychology? The next slide will tell you something else. Yes, there was an indeed interaction between background music and valence, as predicted in hypothesis, which is shown in the figure. Speed of background music may not be powerful enough to show its effect by itself, but when combined with valence, it was strong enough to have effect on game players. Just to be clear, background music was related to arousal, and valence was related to motivational system activation. So what you're seeing is the effect of the interaction between arousal and motivational system activation on human information processing. For game designers, finding of this study provided insight for putting advertisement in video games. Most interesting finding made that positive content was better than negative content when it comes to memory for advertisement. Another is that making the content too easy does not necessarily make the advertisement more memorable. When the game was too easy, bored out players did not invest enough cognitive resources for processing information in general, which resulted in lack of their memory for advertisements. Still, another finding is the importance of background music. Background music has been seen as rather non-essential component for any type of medium, like video games. This study shows that background music does more than setting the mood for video game players, which includes affecting their cognitive resource allocation. Findings of this study are limited by the fact that the participants were relatively young with small variation in age, and the gender ratio of participants was not equal. Future studies should investigate how individual differences affect the way people process information, should attempt to find the conditions for triggering cognitive overload, and should be studied more is how background music in video games on players, both cognitively and emotionally. This is the end of the slide.
Okay, thank you. A very interesting study because we are talking about the effectiveness, whether it works or not, and you produce a game. Is it a game or you game? But there's a risk by developing your game and then you test it yourself, so you lost the neutrality. Yeah, maybe you have to. I'm not sure how are you going to do it.
Oh yeah, I had the experiment with neutrality, and that's the result I showed to you.
Oh yes, I understand. But you are using your own student and you develop your own game. Have you considered maybe doing some field testing with people like us, so that we capture some data? I mean, that is of course not experimental studies anymore. And this is just my personal reaction. When I see an advertisement on my mobile phone game or apps or tablet, if there's no button that I can press to delete the advertisement, I give up. And you ask them to play a game while watching the advertisement for 60 seconds. It doesn't make sense to me. Because I think the normal reaction, my student, the PhD student, who do the visceral level reaction, emotion, 5 to 10 seconds, that's the most they can stand with an advertisement blocking their way to play the games. I think 5 to 10 seconds. 60 seconds would be too much.
It totally depends on the people. Some of the people focus on the advertisement during the session. Some of the people doesn't focus on the advertisement.
Okay, to justify that, you need to use something like hobby eye tracking to track the eye, see where's the focus. But normally, we just press, we escape. This is my perspective. Okay. How about others? Any?
quantitative evidence about data, but did you ever thinking about to also collect some qualitative data about, like the second-hand also self-reporting things? What do they feel like this? Do they feel negative, resistant, or they like it? Because if a player like me, I will immediately leave it. I think their emotion might also be important for you to understand how this advertisement have influence on them.
Actually, this is part of my master physics, and I did
observation?
No.
Dissertation?
Question. Yes. I investigated about that, and actually it was in the manipulate check. The balance of the game was possible, and I asked some questions like, do you like it? This fastest music work? Do you like it with this slowest music work? How do you feel? Like cozy or comfortable or uncomfortable? Don't you care about the music or fast time speed? Yes, I did it, but I handle just a part of the things in this paper.
You link it to the memory with the audio, which I find very interesting. But did you have them play the game without the audio at all?
You listen the audio. I use the background music. This is the audio factors for the game.
But you only use one type.
No, I have two types.
But what I mean is, did you have maybe one where there was no background music at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's.
And the type of game, I only see one type of game is like moving the basket. Only
grab fruits, or this is a positive content, and avoid the insects or lighting or something like that. This is a negative. It's activated the player's aversive system, and positive contents activated the appetitive system.
You have this design of game especially for testing the advertisement?
Yeah, sure.
I think for master level, master is to learn the research method. Yeah, so I think master level is acceptable. I think it's a good presentation for master level.
Keep doing research.
Yes, and then but for your PhD, this